The rumor mill is spinning hard in Munich. Leaked concept sketches, published by Germany's prestigious Motorrad magazine in collaboration with independent designer Carl Lee, have offered the motorcycling world its first speculative glimpse at what may become the BMW R1350 GS, slated for a potential 2028 debut. For a model that has long ceased to be merely a motorcycle and instead evolved into a two-wheeled monument of status, capability, and Germanic engineering pride, even unconfirmed renders are enough to trigger seismic waves across the global ADV community. The timing, however, raises a legitimate question. With the current R1300 GS barely 3 years into its market cycle and still generating headlines for its radical X-shaped headlight cluster and redesigned boxer engine, why is BMW already teasing its successor? The answer, as always with BMW Motorrad, lies in the relentless pursuit of dominance. The design direction suggested in Carl Lee's renderings represents a notable philosophical shift, and a quiet admission that the R1300 GS polarizing aesthetics may have pushed some buyers toward the exit. The 2028 concept trades the aggressive, angular geometry of its predecessor for what sources describe as a more streamlined, aerodynamically purposeful front fascia. Gone, apparently, is the divisive X headlight cluster. In its place, a cleaner arrangement that critics have already noted bears a curious resemblance to the Moto Guzzi Stelvio. An Italian rival BMW would almost certainly bristle at being compared to. Whether intentional homage or parallel evolution, the design's emphasis on wind management signals that BMW is doubling down on the R1350 GS identity as the definitive intercontinental touring weapon. A machine engineered not just to survive long-haul journeys across continents, but to make them feel effortless. At the mechanical heart of the 2028 GS sits the true headline act. A bored-out 1,350 cubic centimeters boxer engine projected to breach the psychologically significant 150 horsepower threshold, with German media forecasting outputs in the range of 150 to 155 horsepower, up from the R1300 GS already competitive 145 horsepower. On paper, these figures may seem incremental, but context matters enormously here. Paired with BMW-proven ShiftCam variable valve technology, the upgraded Boxer is expected to deliver its torque peak aggressively in the low to mid-rev range, a characteristic that transforms a 260 kg-plus machine into something far more responsive and confidence-inspiring than its dimensions suggest. For riders hauling luggage across mountain passes or navigating full-loaded two-up touring in urban traffic, that low-end grunt is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Amid all the speculation about displacement and design, BMW Motorrad appears certain to preserve the mechanical DNA that has defined the GS for 4 decades. The proprietary telelever front suspension and paralever rear linkage, engineering solutions that effectively eliminate brake dive and maintain chassis composure under hard deceleration, are expected to carry forward into the 2028 generation. First introduced in the R1100 GS era, these systems have become so intrinsic to the GS riding experience that removing them would border on brand sacrilege. What will change is the intelligence layered on top. The next generation is almost certainly destined to receive a more sophisticated adaptive electronic damping system, capable of adjusting suspension behavior in real time across varied terrain, from rain-soaked motorways to unpaved mountain tracks, without any input from the rider. The motorcycle world will have to exercise patience. Internal sources within Germany are aligned on one point. If the R1350 GS is real, its world premiere will arrive no earlier than 2028. That leaves roughly 2 years of anticipation, during which spy shots will inevitably surface from European testing roads, prototypes will be spotted beneath heavy camouflage, and the debate will only intensify.